so far social media has not been the thing for Rashida Jones. She's just not into it, y'all. Let's see if our team of experts can convince her to change her mind. Currently seen as Ann Perkins on Parks and Recreation and starring in her soon-to-be-released film, please welcome the Digital Intervention team, y'all. Give them up, give it up, give it up. Please welcome Rashida Jones, her motivational coach and Bravo host Andy Cohen, her technical coach, Mashable founder Pete Cashmore, and leading the interview, Krista Smith, Senior West Coast Editor of Vanity Fair, y'all. Give it up, come on!
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Well, we have finally arrived on stage to see, will she or won't she, Rashida Jones, getting her, pushing her through into the social media universe. She's what I call a Luddite in terms of this. No Twitter, no Facebook, nothing. Nothing. All right, and we have obviously Pete Cashmore, Andy Cohen. So I'm just going to jump right in. Andy, you have a lot of followers. You're almost at 1 million followers on Twitter. How do you feel about it?
I think that Rashida should tweet. I think that not all celebrities should tweet, but I think that Rashida should because she has a lot to say. She's a writer. She's very clever. I want you to know that you are one tweet away from ruining your career at all times. So be very careful, and I'm waiting for it to happen to me. I hope it doesn't, but we all have to be very careful what we tweet.
I want to know which one shouldn't tweet.
Which one shouldn't tweet? It's funny. I was talking to someone, kind of a big movie star recently who doesn't tweet and was about to, and I advised her against it because I just think it's not for everybody. I think it could ruin the mystique. I think it's different. I just think
no mystique to ruin.
You're on TV, which I think is a big, people feel very close to you and accessible to you, and you're also a very funny writer. So you have things to say, but you also have things to promote. So I think that's a really good combination right there.
It's a very transparent medium as well, right? So if you're the kind of person who relates well with others and you're going to say nice things and get along well, then it's obviously a great medium.
Yes, and yes.
Well, I've been on Twitter since July. I was a late bloomer in the form, that medium. And I was very reluctant because even though I'm a writer and I interview and I talk for a living and I do it, it was the fear of what am I going to do? What am I going to say? Who's going to want to know what I'm that blank page. And I got over it, and I love it now because I love the challenge of the characters. Like, how can I say this in a clever way? How can I condense it? How can I get my point across in using those just 140 characters? It was very challenging, but I will say you cannot do it with any kind of cocktail. Like, it's very hard for me. There's a drunken tweeting.
Cocktail.
Oh my God, all I do is drunk tweet.
I can't drunk tweet. It'll be over for me. It would be over.
I love a drunk tweet.
You too.
But I'm a good drinker.
Right.
So I can think while I drink.
That's one of the things we love about you, Andy.
I can host a TV show while I drink, occasionally.
Right. Now, obviously, the Twitter universe there's pros and cons. There's a lot of noise out there. Every brand is on it. A lot of people, it's just coming as fast and furious. For you, Pete, what do you see the advantages of it for you in terms of Mashable, you personally? What do you get from it?
So I think for Mashable, it's a couple things. One of them is obviously, our audience is super connected. So Mashable doesn't have a marketing budget. It's $0, but we have 20 million readers. So how do you get to that? Well, you just have an audience that actually wants to engage with the content, that wants to share the content, and you get this loop going, right? You listen to them about what are they liking, what do they want to hear more of, what topics they want us to cover, and then you create that, and obviously they're more willing to share stuff that they've requested. So it's like a really virtuous circle for us that both we listen to what people want, and then if we get it right, then people are more likely to share it out, and it gives us just massive distribution online, on Twitter, on Facebook, and also, I'm afraid to say it because you're just getting on Twitter, but a lot of new networks springing up, right? You're getting all these visual networks, the Pinterests of the world, the Instagrams, so there's always new platforms springing up, but once you've got that core audience, they're going to follow you wherever you go.
Mm-hmm. And Rashida, what is your reluctancy about it? I mean, you are someone that is inspirational and aspirational, and you've been in this business for a long time. And now you've started writing, is become an enormous part of your career. What does it mean for you, or what does it? Why haven't you done it thus far?
Okay, here are my main concerns. Firstly, I have spent 36 years of my life, 36, trying to not care what people think about me. I've spent a lot of money in therapy and talking to friends about really having a value and a self-worth that is dictated by my inner life. I'm scared that that's somehow going to change for me, and that I'm going to care what people think about me. Already with the internet, I've had to do so much work around just not looking at things people say about me, mean or otherwise, because everybody who is talked about on the internet, there's something bad that somebody's going to say about them. I mean, it's unavoidable. I don't like being a part of that cycle, especially because there are so many terrible situations that have come out of that for kids. I mean, not so much for celebrities because it's different, but when you're forming your brain and people talk about you, it kind of forms who you are. I'm a little past that, but I'm concerned about that. That's the first thing. The second thing I'm concerned about is that Twitter, it feels a little bit to me like you go to a party and everybody's high on coffee or cocaine. Everybody's talking really fast, and they think they're awesome. And everybody thinks they're making the best jokes. I'm afraid I'm going to be one of those people on coffee and cocaine at that party.
You are awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
You are.
Thanks. But you know what I mean.
Well,
is
it a disconnected fear, like you're in an event but everybody's doing this, or you're
trying
to one up?
That's just a reality. I mean, anywhere you go, most of the time people are not talking to you, they're talking to their phones. The disconnection thing and relying on this thing that's pulling me towards the world, that are people that are, that don't know me, for some reason putting stake in that, I'm a little scared about.
Well, see, I think for you, it's a kind of an incredible medium because you just have a movie coming out. It was at Sundance, Celeste and Jesse Forever, and it was a film that Rashida wrote with her partner, Will McCormick, and writing partner, and it was bought and sold twice because 2 studios folded in that time. It really is a microcosm for Hollywood. And now I see what happens in terms of getting the word out or buzz or social media. Now movie studios are paying more attention to what's happening in Twitter and what's happening in the social universe in terms of putting dollars into promoting a film. And in this scenario, which is why I really wanted you to do this, and especially here at this place and during Digitas, is because it is about independent film at its finest. People have to spread the word themselves. You have to get it out there for your own movie, and it makes an enormous difference.
Right.
And it's a much different world now as it was even a year ago in terms of how they promote films, how talent or artists get heard and directly communicate with their fans.
Totally. That's really appealing to me, especially because we kind of had to do things on our own with this movie, and I like the fact that people are armed with social media to be able to get people interested, and it's fun to hear stories where there's a viral video that somebody made in their basement, and then 50 million people have watched it. That's exciting to me. I think it's not to sound puritanical, but it's that the moral parameters around that. How do I create my own little thing so I feel comfortable and I don't feel like I'm in this sea, this overwhelming sea?
Well, I think you just don't put too much stake in it. I mean, you put it out there and just don't, you flip through what people say, but you do have to have a thick skin because the things that you're talking about, are real and valid concerns. So you need to have a thick skin. And you also just need to know what you're going to engage and what you're going to let penetrate and what you're not, because you really should just figure out why you're doing it and just move forward and not let it fuck you up.
There's definitely a default level of just negativity in the world, and you'll just be exposed to it because it was the Jimmy Kimmel bit a couple of weeks ago where celebrities were reading their negative tweets and crying about it, and like that's a default thing, and you get very used to it. I mean, Facebook launched Subscribe a few months ago, so everyone who's on Facebook now gets pushed all the people you can subscribe to. So you get these people who don't really know who you are following you, and they don't really have that social connection to you, so they feel like they can say whatever. And I think it's a challenge for celebrity as well, that people don't see you as a person, so they feel like, oh, you're never going to see this if I write something mean, and they don't notice that you're looking at your phone and then seeing exactly what they're saying.
But I actually love, sometimes, I really ignore the mean stuff, and I get a good share of it, and I love it because it's a focus group for my show and for Bravo shows. I mean, I'll go on after my show, and people say that, you know, what they loved or what they didn't like, and it's so fascinating for me and so real time. But sometimes when someone says something particularly offensive or rude or rotten, I just retweet it and say thanks, and then my followers just hammer the person to shreds, and it's fun to watch that person then, you know, get completely massacred by a lot of strangers.
Is this a tactic you're recommending that Rashida
Yes,
tries?
I absolutely recommend it.
Self-correct.
It's great, but you can't do it too much. Just save it for the really, really mean ones. You know, it's just like, thanks.
Can you remember the meanest tweet?
Oh, no. There's just many. I mean, and it could be a gay bashing thing. It could be a crossed eyes thing. It could just be it could be anything. I have a whole scale of insults.
Do either one of you remember your first tweet?
Do I remember my first tweet? I used to tweet about, so my Twitter account was actually, the one that's the @Mashable account was my personal account when it started, and now we tweet Mashable links from it. But yeah, I would just tweet about like what I was having for lunch, and like if you look back on that one, it gets a lot less interesting because it's just about what I was doing at the time. I don't remember my first one. Most people's first tweet are like, hey, just join Twitter.
Yeah.
It's like 90% of them.
I don't remember it.
No. And how often during the course of a day or a week will you tweet? Both of you, open to both of you.
I tweet, it depends what kind of day I'm having, it depends what I'm doing. I definitely start firing it up close to the time that my show goes live because my show is interactive and I'm looking for people to tweet their questions to me, and I like to tweet photos of my guests before the show, waiting to go on live, and take people into the experience. And so I use the Twitter for my show. Pretty much every time I take a taxi, I send out a tweet about what's going on in the cab because I'm always kind of amused by it.
What? What do you mean?
It could just be the smell of the cab or what I'm talking to my driver about, or there's just always something going on.
Do you have a hashtag for that? Should.
No, I don't. Yeah, I should. Sometimes it's like cab tweet or something. Usually it's about some kind of, I always have a fantasy in my head about like my cab driver and I are gonna fall in love at the end of the ride or something, but he's ignoring me. I make it
You have
crazy,
a whole relationship with him.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
That's amazing.
I think there's a legitimate point to be made as well, though, that how much should you be tweeting? You still have to do the thing that you do, and that's the most important thing. Because I have to run a company, right? So I can't be like all the time on Twitter. It's very addictive to check all the time who's replying to you and what's going on. But you got to remember that the reason you have that audience and that people are really excited in the community is because you create something.
You can't
and it's all about the
overtweet.
thing you create versus talking about the thing you create.
And you can't overtweet, and you can't be overly promotional. It just has to be,
Well, it's like having an authentic voice. And I also think for you, Rashida, being a public person anyway, because you're an actress, you're in front of the camera, people know you, it does give you an opportunity to have your own voice and not have it be interpreted or diluted or anything. It's just like, oh, this is what she says, good or bad. This is your point of view. And for you as a writer, I think you'd kind of get off on the challenge. You're a little bit of a wordsmith. I know you like
I like the words. I like words. Yeah. There are a lot of appealing things about it. I think it's weird because most of my issues with it, besides the kind of macro socio-cultural significance, is really about my relationship with it and being able to manage it and not get addicted. I'm afraid that I'm gonna use that to somehow define myself and want to just tweet all the time, and I definitely don't want to do that.
You'll make your own rules, sweetie. It's gonna be okay.
God, you guys, thank you. Okay.
How are you feeling about it? Are you ready to kind of maybe go for it? What do you think, guys? Do you think she should tweet? What about over there? We think she should tweet?
Do it.
You guys don't seem that psyched. Come
Yeah.
on.
Do it.
It's a major step for me.
Woo!
Huge.
Do it.
Okay.
Send a tweet.
I can always close my account, right? I just have to
I mean,
know. It's
yes,
like
of
it's like
course.
going in a relationship
I think
and
there's
knowing
no
you can break up.
decision is final only until you tweet something you can never take
Right.
back, right?
Right, until that one terrible tweet that
Exactly.
ruins my career.
And don't
I think-
delete your tweets because that makes you more guilty.
Right, you don't want to be obvious. Have you ever done that, actually tweeted something and then retweeted, oops?
Yes.
I did.
Well, the one thing that's really common is the DM fail. You got to watch out for the DM fail. That's when Twitter, when you get text message updates of your messages on Twitter, it looks like a text message from that person. If you just reply in line without saying DM, then it posts your public.
Oh,
so
I've done
that
that.
a few times where you just reply to them.
Like a reply all. And
Yeah, don't turn on text messaging if you don't want to be confused.
Yeah, don't do that.
copy that.
Rupert Murdoch, that was kind of fun for a while, following his tweets when he was just letting it all going rogue a bit.
They were in
yeah.
public.
I'll tell you who to follow too. We'll have
Oh,
that
yeah,
discussion.
I want to have that discussion.
You have to.
too.
Kristen Chenoweth, who was here earlier, she ambient tweets late at night. She
Yes,
gets
so
crazy. She doesn't know what she's talking
See,
about.
that's deadly. That's where
And
you have to be
Cher
careful.
does a lot of
Yeah, Cher
crazy
does a
late
lot.
night
That's awesome.
tweeting.
Great, okay. All right.
Cher will tweet like check out my tuna casserole recipe and stuff like that. I
Nutty,
love-
nutty. At like 5 in the morning, she's up.
that's
You
great.
learn things that you don't necessarily want to know about people too. You got to be careful about that.
Yeah.
Great.
Why are you saying that at 4:30 in the morning? Like, what are you doing right now? Anyway, do the tweet.
All right.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
let's
Do
do
the
it.
tweet. All right.
Do we have a handle here? All right, let's
I'm
go
gonna
for
do
it.
it.
Let's see, Andy, you
I'm
got it
doing
right
it.
in front of you.
Okay. Oh, look, it's all ready to go for you.
Okay.
I'm going to also, while you're doing it, welcome you to Twitter on my
Okay, are we
Twitter.
all gonna?
Okay.
Oh, we're
What
all
if I
gonna
just
get-
like started searching porn right now and didn't do any Twitter or tweeting?
Oh, don't. Yeah,
No?
right.
What? Oh,
Nothing.
wait.
I'll
We'll
tell
talk
you
about
after
that
the
later.
thing.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
gonna do
Some
that. That's
porn-related
good.
things to tell you.
All right. What's
Let's not overthink it.
Let's not overthink it. Okay.
Yeah. It's already starting, the pressure.
I'm going to take a picture of you doing your first tweet.
Is it up? Okay,
So-
can everyone see that? All right.
Okay.
Now we're all going to
So see, this
It better
is
be
why
good.
I'm not gonna be
And
good.
what are you saying?
It's
Like,
gonna take me 20
holla,
minutes.
I'm on Twitter.
Holla. Yeah. I'm feeling like performance.
go over
anxiety
140
about
You
my-
characters?
are I am
Oh,
Rashida
yes,
Jones.
that's right. I have to be limited.
You
Yeah,
are I am Rashida
yeah.
Jones.
Wait, is this how I do? Is that how I do it?
All right, a hashtag. Nice.
Is this good?
How about yikes?
Yes.
New front, no S.
Wait, no. Oh, no S. Thanks, you guys. See, we're communicating.
Collective.
We're hanging out. Okay. I did it.
How did it go?
I did it. I think it happened, right? One tweet. It will never look like that again.
That's right.
How do you feel?
I feel okay.
I think you're going to love participating in this.
I feel okay.
Oh, look, someone tweeted that they think you look fat.
Yeah.
Was it me?
It was
you?
At Bravo Andy.
Wait, when do people start tweeting at me?
now.
Right now?
We're about
I'm
to.
waiting for it to
So
come
what do I-
through.
how
I'm
do I-
following
I
you.
just-
Do we have minutes? Let's see how
I'm
quick.
gonna follow you, but I just sent out a tweet welcoming you. Also,
You did?
So we'll see what.
What's the handle? Just
Weird.
at Rashida Jones?
I am Rashida
oh, I am
Jones.
Rashida Jones. All right.
Because I am.
Yes, you are.
I'm just gonna sit here. Is this
Are there
gonna
other
be me for
Rashida
the
Jones?
rest
You know
of my
who
life?
else
I'm
is
just gonna sit
great?
here?
Sandra Bernhard is really funny on Twitter.
Okay.
She's really good.
Seth MacFarlane's
pass.
pretty great on Twitter, too. He doesn't do it that often, but when he does, it's worth it.
Who?
Seth MacFarlane.
Uh-huh.
I have some
Judd
like,
Apatow.
some ringers in my cast too, like Aziz and
Right.
Paris Whittles, one of our writers who has Humble Brag, which is
Uh-huh.
pretty great. Come on, guys!
Well, you know, what do you say, Pete,
Oh.
when anything is...
I am Rashida Jones. Oh, did somebody tweet to Rashida Jones? I
So,
don't
Rashida,
know.
what do you have going on this week? You have a movie that comes out at the end of the summer.
You have a
You're
movie-
done with the show.
Done with the show.
I've got some replies for you. I'm following your replies. Do you want to know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what are the
Michael Davis says, "Hey, girl."
Hey.
Okay.
It's all right. Greg Clayman says, "Welcome to Twitter."
Greg Clayman, we went to college together. Hi, Greg.
That's good.
I think he's here.
Bradley
Hi, where are
Werner says, "You did it. Welcome to the digital party." Let's
To
see
the
where he is.
digital party?
Yeah.
Great. Where are the...
Alex Nagler, is it? Nagler? He says, "Follower number 2."
What number
Who was
2?
follower number 1? Oh, that's me. That was me. I followed you before.
You're follower
Yeah.
number 1. He's follower number 2.
Number 1.
Who are you?
I'm going to look, you already have 116 followers.
No way.
Yeah. 117,
My
I
life
just
is
followed
over. Really?
you. Yeah.
That's so cool. That's
See,
great.
How do you
now
feel
she's
already,
addicted.
right?
Pretty good.
The positive is outweighing the the negative.
Well, that's somebody said to me that Twitter, especially, is a place where it is just about it's more positive than
It
negative.
is much more positive.
Don't follow you
true.
unless they like you and they want to be supportive. So
It's true, and you should just be positive about it and ignore people who are not positive towards you, and you're going to be good.
But I will tell you, that competitive streak will hit, and when you get to like, I have 199 followers. How am I going to get to 200? How am I
Look,
going to
here,
get?
here are all
It's
your
kind of insatiable.
welcome aboard. You're pretty awesome. Don't be scared of it. Step 1, follow your friends back. Welcome, Fred Destin.
okay.
Okay, see these.
And
people,
tomorrow's
these are all your
Follow
new
Friday.
friends.
Friends, E-Online is following me.
Ooh.
Digitas is following
See,
me.
they're following you so that if you ever F up, E-Online is going to
They're
be
just
like,
there.
Rashida Jones said that she doesn't like whatever.
Keep going. I want to know what I'm going to
Yeah.
say.
I think you'll be pretty set. That's pretty amazing.
have
We are at like a minute.
You have more.
A minute and a half. We've got that many.
That's pretty cool.
Look, 18 new things.
All right, guys, what are we at there, Andy? We're going to have to wrap it up
10 new
here.
interactions.
How many?
Great.
Oh, how many followers? does
Yeah.
she have?
Like 230.
230.
Wow.
Wow.
Ooh, here's someone with a shirtless pic.
Yeah.
All right, clearly it's time to wrap this up, or else we will just.
I think
we're going
we're
to do
just
this
getting
off
started.
stage if anybody wants to follow us to continue. But anyway, that was great. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you
Rashida.
guys for your support and your feedback. Thank
Very
you guys
excited.
for
Very great. And thanks for
Very
the
nice.
collective whole.
Congratulations.
Thanks for popping my cherry.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I'm going to tweet that
On
right
stage.
now. Popped Rashida's Twitter cherry.
yeah, we popped your cherry.
That's great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.